Greetings, fellow Cybertronians, and welcome to Read Along with Bartatron, the show where I read along with my favorite Transformers comic books. I'm your host, Bartatron, representing the Cybertron Data Network and NerdTeam30.com. The goal of this program is to promote reading for all ages, along with sharing my love for everything Transformers. If you do not already own this issue, I recommend you purchase a copy, provided in the links below, and read along with me. With that said, we have a huge issue to cover this episode, so let's roll out. The Transformers Monstrosity, issue number 5. Story by Chris Metzen and Flint Dill. Art by Livio Romandelli. Letters by Tom B. Long. Editor John Barber. Chapter 5, Fallout.
Blaster here, broadcasting from the Nexus. And man, I wish I wasn't. This is a day of tragedy for all Cybertronians, Autobot and Decepticon alike. Details are sketchy, but reliable sources inform me that Autobot forces led by Optimus Prime, responding to a Decepticon attack on the Taraxis Mega Refinery, engaged a small group of unaligned mercenaries who were already raiding the facility's Energon stores. The unidentified mercenary leader threatened to detonate the facility's fusion core if both groups didn't immediately withdraw. When the Prime talked him down from his suicidal act, the new Decepticon leader, Scorponok, triggered the core's meltdown himself. The explosion from this senseless act of terror not only killed thousands in the surrounding area, but obliterated one of Cybertron's last vital sources of energon. We received confirmation that Optimus Prime and his senior officers survived the attack, and we have word that he will be giving a eulogy for those still missing, and those presumed dead.
Metroplex.
Even now, while the death toll grows, we are gathered here to remember those who were lost in this deranged act of violence, both civilians and our fellow officers. But let us take this moment to ensure that they have not died in vain, and that the unity they died to protect will be restored. We cannot let this tragedy separate our factions any further. This is an opportunity to reaffirm our bonds and our sacred pledge to lead the people of Cybertron, even when times are at their darkest. Till all are one.
Till all are one! Till all are one! Till all are one!
Prime's quarters. Later.
It's all falling apart, Atlas. How did I not anticipate something like this? You may carry the Matrix within you, but even a Prime has his limits. I know you didn't wish for this to happen, but it did. And I fear, given the rampant violence that's gripped our world, that this is only the beginning. I will protect our people. From what? Global systematic shutdown? Our energon reserves are exhausted. Your war has brought us to this end. The only choice our people have now is to find substance somewhere else. That's it then? You just pick up and abandon our homeworld? Lead our people into the trackless void? For all your promise, you have failed to keep us safe, Optimus. Now we must take our destinies into our own hands. Their destinies lie here, on Cybertron. Not anymore. Deep down, you know it. I could stop you, prevent you from leaving. You could, and the violence would only escalate. You are not like Zeta. I know you believe in freedom, enough to die for it. But perhaps your last, greatest command as a Prime is to let your people go.
Coal Cooler.
The dead are not to be mourned. They are to be scavenged. Take the best of their parts, melt the rest. Forget them. They are failures. Their stain must be eliminated from Cybertron. As you install their parts, be sure not to let the taint of defeat infect you.
Scorponok, how can you say that? They died fighting for us. It's only chance that some of us lived and some of us died.
Not chance, fate. The strong survive. The weak are crushed beneath them. To think otherwise is to think like an Autobot.
No, that's not right. Even Megatron respected those who died in his service.
I respect only power. That is what it means to be a Decepticon. Anyone else care to venture their opinion? Leave this wretch. Do not scavenge his parts. They are tainted by weakness and fear. And mark my words, the next bot that so much as mentions Megatron's name will share this fate.
Junkion, the Acid Sea.
I tire of this forsaken hell.
And yet you continue to survive it, despite seeing its depths.
The cowardly wretches dragged me under and then released me.
How very interesting. You may yet escape this place, Wanderer, but you must learn its most critical lesson. If you do not, the same fate might befall your own world.
What do you care about this world, Pentius? Or any other for that matter?
I am a student of history and its cycles. This world, long ago, was not all that different from the one you've come from. The Junkions were once a beautiful yet narcissistic race who squandered any potential they might have had. Lazy and indolent, they were shocked to discover that they had depleted their world of its precious resources. They survived for a time, selling the wealth they had accumulated. But when they finally exhausted the last of their energon, the great engines that perpetuated their crumbling utopia finally self-destructed. The gravimetric pull of this broken world sucked the detritus from space, raining it down to shatter the last vestiges of their civilization. The survivors were left with no alternative but to forage for their existence amongst the teeming wreckage of their vanity. It is the cycle of empire, affluence, decadence, predation, cannibalization. This fate awaits your world, does it not?
No, not Cybertron. These Junkions were short-sighted fools. I do not lack for vision. I will reclaim my world, eventually, and my rule, my legacy, will last forever.
Why? What is it that drives you?
Dominance! It is the only truth of existence.
Very good. You are learning after all.
Cybertron, the Thoraxis blast site.
Flag! Swoop! Anyone? Is anyone still alive? Am I? It's begun. A grand exodus from Cybertron. Perhaps, out there in the void, our people can find some respite from war and violence.
Tens of thousands are leaving, expending their last energon in hopes of finding a better future somewhere out there. Tell our audience, Diatlas, is this what you wanted?
Of course not, Blaster. Our world is nearly dead. Fitting that the warmongers be left behind to battle over the ash and wreckage.
So, you've given up on the ideal of unification? You don't have any faith that the new Prime can turn this all around?
I had hoped. But the tragedy at Thoraxis proved just how impotent he is. It is time for the factions to face reality and start to forge futures of their own.
As much as I hate to agree with him, if there's no energon, there's no life.
And if everyone leaves, what becomes of us?
The time for us to leave may come. But not before we've exhausted every hope of finding more energon to fuel this civilization. We start where this began. I sent Jetfire and his science team back to Toraxis before the Exodus even began.
Within the irradiated Toraxis crater.
Are our rad shields holding, Perceptor?
Radiation levels are spiking, Jetfire, but I think we're safe for the time being. I've never seen such destruction before. Keep your eyes out for survivors. I'm not detecting any on the surface, but there may be life signs underground.
Improbable, Ratchet. The possibility of systems surviving in the crust's intensely pressurized substrata is 330,000 to 1. We can all do the math, Perceptor. But if there's even a chance anyone survived, down we go. Deeper than we've ever been into the planet's subsurface. We might just learn a thing or two.
Did you guys see that? I don't think we're alone down here.
It could be survivors. Fan out.
I don't know. I got a bad feeling about this.
That's all for this episode of Read Along with Bartatron. I hope you've enjoyed your time with me. Please leave your thoughts and suggestions down in the comment box, and go ahead and click the thumbs up and subscribe buttons while you're at it. All the voices and background music was provided by yours truly. This is Bartatron from the Cybertron Data Network and NerdTeam30.com signing off. Till all are one. See you next time.